And good morning, and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's Tuesday, March 11th, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. How do you do with the time change? You do okay?
I'm doing okay, except for this morning, Ken. So.
Oh, no. Our special guest in studio this morning, I'm thankful he's here, is Dale Roos. He is the conductor of the Southshore Band. And just bring that microphone up just a little bit closer. There you go. What happened this morning? The alarm clock didn't go off?
Well, I'm officially retired.
Oh.
Okay, and so this is not a normal time for me.
Okay. All right. Are you a morning person?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. But you are, I assume, a musical person, musically inclined. How long have you been? What do you play? What's your instrument?
Well, my main is the one I started out with is trumpet. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I played the trumpet as well in high school. In fact, thank you for opening this up. I'll tell this story. I made first chair in trumpet in high school, and I was so excited. We were up on risers. I was so excited.
What school, Ken?
It was in Quincy High School. So I was raised out in Washington State, so nowhere near here.
Okay.
Agricultural community, about 3,500 people. But I was on the riser. I was rocking back in my chair, despite what the band instructor said, don't rock on your chair. Made first chair. The announcement came, and I was so surprised. I rocked back, fell down, knocked my trumpet on the floor. The bell all of a sudden was dinged up like that. And I learned you can actually get a bell re-straightened.
Yep.
And they don't look the same because the finish comes off.
No, they don't. Okay. And knowing that you were a first chair trumpet player, I may be talking to you later about joining the Southshore Concert Band.
I haven't practiced in a whole long time, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. And so how many other instruments do you play?
Well, being trained as a director, as band director, you get experience on pretty much all the instruments.
That's great.
Okay, and some you do better than others, and so that's part of the education.
I hate to ask this because I don't have favorites, but do you have a favorite musical instrument or one that you are drawn toward more than not?
Okay, well, I mean, it has to be trumpet. That's the one I start out with, but no prejudice among the instruments within the band because they're all important. They're all significant.
Yeah. Piano, percussion instrument?
I do play some piano, yes.
Is it a percussion instrument?
Well, it can be if you look at the hammers hitting the strings.
See, it's a debate in the music community, and so I thought I'd stoke the fire there. You're the conductor director of the Southshore Band. My understanding is you formed the Southshore Concert Band back in 1992.
92, yeah.
That's fantastic. Why did you do that?
Well, that's actually kind of an interesting story. I was involved in parent-teacher conferences a few months, into 1992 school year. 1991 school year. And a parent said, I wish you could have some place to play. Someone who had played before. Yeah. And that's something I'd kind of always wanted to do as a kid. Back in Battle Creek, I played in what was called the Post Band. Post Serial, they had a community band, and I played in that, and I just really, I loved it. Yeah. And I'd always thought that would be a really great thing to have. And then I contacted Bernie Kuschel, well-known band director here in Benton Harbor, and started talking to him about it, and then he was all for it, said this is what we need in this area. And so I worked with Bernie and a few other people, and
the rest is history.
Started putting it together.
We will explore that story in depth here in just a few moments. And you played in the Post Band.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, CW Post.
Yeah.
Cereal manufacturing company. They sponsored a band back in the day, and
we'll talk about that too in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. My apologies. We've got to get to some news, and then we'll continue this conversation on the radio as well as the video live stream. It's 7:04. It's Tuesday, March 11th. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:05, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 47 degrees in Benton Harbor, 44 in St. Joe, and 43 in South Haven. Forecast for today, partly sunny. We're going to top out at a high this morning, probably around 50, 54 degrees. And then it's going to get cooler, and especially cooler near Lake Michigan. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour becoming north are going to cool it down considerably. We're going to see a low tonight, probably around freezing, 32 degrees with partly cloudy skies tonight. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, gusting up to 20. Forecast for tomorrow, we're going to warm back up again. It's partly sunny in the forecast. High around 58 with southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, keeping the warm temperatures into Thursday, a high around 65. And Friday, even though there's a slim chance of precipitation, rain showers, that is, not snow, high around 70 expected on Friday. Unbelievable. All right, some of the news that we're following from the WSJM newsroom this morning. Democrat Michigan Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist confirming this morning he is running for governor. Gilchrist is the sixth candidate to announce his bid for the governor's mansion, which will be open because Governor Gretchen Whitmer is term limited. Gilchrist says he's been to all 83 counties in Michigan at least 3 times and talked to people from every walk of life. With Gilchrist getting into the race officially, 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and 1 independent candidate have all launched their bids for the governor's mansion. If a Democrat candidate wins, the Democrats will have their longest hold on the governor's office since the 1960s. Other news, it was 5 years ago this week that the first 2 cases of COVID-19 were identified in Michigan, and healthcare providers across the state are reflecting on how things have changed and what we've learned since. Once COVID hit Michigan, things progressed quickly. The governor first discouraged non-essential travel, then ordered schools to close, and then the lockdown took effect 2 weeks later. Dr. Robert Nolan from Corewell Health here in Southwest Michigan tells us the care COVID patients received back then was a lot different than it is now.
You would have been encountered by someone in full-on PPE, which is that kind of spacesuit that looks like that we have. You would have been put in a negative pressure isolation room. I don't know if many people remember this. We had actually set up tents outside of the emergency department out of concern of being overwhelmed.
Now, Nolan says they can quickly test anyone for COVID, the flu, and RSV all at the same time. He says the virus today is not the same as it was back then. He tells us they see a lot fewer severe cases in otherwise healthy patients. He believes both medical staff and the general population have changed since COVID.
Prior to COVID, I think people were more cavalierish when they were sick, getting out in public and, maybe going to the grocery store or other public places. I think people have a lot more respect now that if you're not feeling well, to kind of isolate yourself and not expose people to whatever crud you happen to have going on.
Nolan says the effects of COVID still linger for hospital staff as it was a stressful time for them and many became burned out. Staffing shortages continue to be a problem for many hospitals. As for whether the lockdowns were worth it, Nolan says we responded to the COVID area the best we could with the information we had at the time. The Van Buren County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help to help crack down on young people using and abusing alcohol. The Sheriff's Office reports they broke up an underage party over the weekend in the 38,000 block of 28th Avenue in Waverly Township. That after a neighbor reported numerous cars and a lot of noise. Deputies arrived to discover a large number of cars and a large party in progress. When police arrived, they said many of the partygoers fled on foot and drove away before deputies could gain control of the scene. Multiple minor in possession by consumption citations were issued, and a number of intoxicated participants who would have been driving away otherwise were provided alternative means of transportation. The Van Buren County Sheriff's Office says if you suspect a minor in possession party in progress or hear about the possibility of one happening in Van Buren County, please contact the Van Buren County Central Dispatch to make a report. That's a look at some of the news that we have right now in the WSJM newsroom. It's 7:09. Our special guest this morning in studio is Dale Roos. He's the conductor of the Southshore Band here in Southwest Michigan, and we have you this hour, Mr. Roos, Conductor Roos. What's your official title? How shall I address you?
You can call me Dale.
Dale. All right. Fair enough. We're going to get along well, I can tell. And I made the joke off air that we're a couple of blowhards because we both have played trumpet.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry. Bad dad joke. Music joke. Dale Roos is the conductor of the Southshore Band. Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here, Ken.
Absolutely. One of the things we love to ask people is just give us your background. Where are you from? Where were you raised? And how did you get to where you are now?
Okay. I was born and raised in Battle Creek.
Okay.
90 miles from here, and went to Gull Lake Community High School, Kellogg Community College, and then went to Michigan State University. And that's where I received my degree in music. And my first job was at Climax Scott's over by Battle Creek. I was there for a couple years. Then I came over here to Bridgman, and I was the band director at Bridgman for about 20 years. And then I moved into the classroom, taught social studies for about another, 15 years. They kind of all blend together. Various roles and capacities there at Bridgman, and retired from Bridgman. Did some adjunct teaching for Lake Michigan College and for Siena Heights University. And along the way, in 1992, we formed up the Southshore Concert Band.
Yeah. So when you went to higher education, you studied music. That was your major. Was social studies your minor? Did you have a minor?
Yes, kind of.
Okay.
It was like a minor, yeah.
Did you? I mean, did you always know that you wanted to be in music in some way or another? And how did you know that?
Well, I started out, playing piano, and after about a year, I started playing the trumpet too. And it was just something it was just part of me. It was kind of a natural thing. And, it was one of those natural things that happens. And as a kid, you don't realize that what you have is something unique, maybe, that other people are, they might be excelling in sports while you're excelling in the music area. Yeah. Right. And so it just was a natural fit.
Public performance, your first time, do you still remember?
Probably during school, what was called a band follies, kind of like a variety show.
Yes.
Getting up with a trumpet solo.
Yeah.
And played, what did I play? Something by Al Hurd. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. I had a similar experience, trumpet, high school, playing through private lessons. My instructor said, let's do this little show. And all of a sudden I found myself standing solo on a stage. Luckily I knew the music, but it was a fun piece. It made the audience laugh. I think because it was funny, not because of my playing. All right, we'll continue this interview in just a moment. We're talking with Dale Bruce. He's the conductor of the Southshore Band. We have it on the video live stream right now. He'll be with us this hour on the Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be back on the radio in a few minutes after sports with Dave Wolf and a few messages right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
In the NHL, the Red Wings.
All right, and again, welcome back to the video live stream. Good morning to Alex. Good morning to Bill. Good morning to others who are watching. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. We're going to continue our conversation with Dale Bruce, conductor of Southshore Band. So you played piano for a little while, and then you went over to trumpet. Why the change?
Well, actually, I continued both.
Okay.
Simultaneously. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of keys.
Well.
Were you self-taught?
No, I took lessons.
Okay.
On both.
Okay. And what do you have a genre that you typically play?
Well, I was trained more along the lines of classical piano, and that transferred over into the trumpet performance of more traditional classical type playing. Yeah. Okay.
You mentioned earlier that CW Post, you were part of their band. Tell us about that. How did that come about?
Well, there was the conductor of the band is named Jack Masteller. Anyone out there who has distant memories may have heard that name before.
Tell us about him for just a moment.
Okay. Well, he was a local conductor there in Battle Creek.
Okay.
And had a good reputation. I can't remember which school he taught at that point. Okay. I mean, I was just a kid.
Yeah.
And he was well known. And as conductor of the Post Band, it was a summer type band like the municipal band here in St. Joe, and they would put on concerts once every week. And as a seventh grader, I auditioned, and these were mostly adults in there, and I was able to get in, and he put me in, and it went from there for a few years until I moved on to another school.
Did you get to travel or anything with the band?
No, it was pretty much, it was just local.
It was a local band?
Local areas around, different spots around Battle Creek, yeah.
That's great. And there, did you primarily play trumpet then?
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Okay. After CW Post Band, then what did you join?
Okay, well, then it was my school career, through high school and then continuing on into college. Yeah.
Okay. Staying part of that band the entire time?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so as you were getting your major, how did you land on social studies as your minor?
It was just a point of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just following up with some, you got to take some classes. So, okay, let's do this.
Did you ever think you would be teaching it for many, 15 years afterwards?
No.
All right, we're going to continue this conversation. We're talking with Dale Roos. He's the conductor of the Southshore Band. In just a moment right here, we're going to get our updated weather forecast from WSBT. That's coming up in just a moment on the WSJM Morning Show. If you have any questions, we'll be talking about the Southshore Concert Band in just a moment. It's forming, why it formed, what it's about, and some of the things they might need from the community in just a few moments right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Partly sunny skies today. Temperatures will be warmest this morning as we top out in the 50s, and then temperatures will drop because a cold front rolls through. Inland will drop into the 40s, but near the lakeshore will drop into the 30s for the afternoon, and it will be breezy as that wind shifts direction. Then tonight we drop down to 32, and we're back to sun and 58 tomorrow. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Short sleeve weather, at least the first part of the day. I opted for the quarter zip just because it's going to get colder this afternoon. Good morning and welcome back to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It's 7:16 on your Tuesday, March 11th. Our guest in studio right now is Dale Roos. He's the conductor of the Southshore Band, and we've been having a good conversation so far, talking a little bit about his background. He's modest. I can tell you this. Dale is very modest, but he's going to tell us now about the Southshore Concert Band and its forming, its history, and anything else that you want to tell us. But, I mean, tell us, in 1992, you mentioned this earlier as we were beginning the program, how did you come about deciding this was the time to form something like this?
Because I was asked, I wish there was, or a statement was made to me by a parent, I wish there was a place I could play. And it's something that I myself have wanted to do, and I have not been able to do it because I've been the conductor.
Yeah.
But it's something that people who love playing their instruments, you just don't finish high school, put the horn in the case and throw it in the attic, and then, if you really love playing, you want to keep playing.
Yeah.
The problem with the band instrument is it's hard to keep that going unless you're playing with a group. And so there was a need for that in this area. The municipal band, obviously covers, the summer in a very remarkable way.
Yeah.
But there was nothing around here immediately for the musician with various experiences behind them during the school year. And so that's what this became. And, like I said, Bernie Kushel, worked with me on, putting this together, the idea, and coordinating it, and so
what does that
happen.
Yeah, what does that look like? I mean, you have the idea. A lot of people start with the ideas, but then they don't go very far from there. You started this back in 1992, and it's still going today. So what did that organization look like in the right when you conceived it? Yeah,
well, we put out. Now I got. Mike Hoagie, who is also with the band right now, was band director Berrien Springs, so I contacted him too, and we teamed up and did some things together, and we got the word out. It was certainly nothing like today where you can send something out on the internet. Okay? So we had to get information out any way we could. Word of mouth is usually the best.
Yes.
And we set the date for the first rehearsal, which I think was sometime in January of '92, and it was at Bridgman High School, because that's where I taught, and unlocked the doors and waited, and about 60 people walked through the door.
60 people?
Yes.
That's great.
An interesting thing, it was actually a really well-balanced group, so we were able to sit down and just start playing. Now, it was a little rough at the begining, obviously.
Yeah.
Because there was a combination from everybody who was still playing somewhere, to those who hadn't played an instrument, for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting start.
Yeah. How do you start that? Do you have sheet music ready to go?
Yeah, I actually started with a beginning band method that I was actually using with my fifth graders at that time. And so I passed out some books and we played through it. Well, okay, well, that's good. Let's pass that in. I went up to the next level, 6th or 7th grade level, and finally got to basically a 9th grade level performance of music. And then from that point, it was just borrowing from the Bridgman Library to, put it together.
Yeah.
And then the band just grew.
So you were auditioning at the same time.
Well, it wasn't an audition, but I guess we could say that. Yeah.
What? How many people do you have in the band right now?
Currently, we have right around 75 people.
Okay, that's a great turnout.
Yeah.
And who's represented? Are we talking woodwinds, brass?
Oh, it's well balanced. Okay. Every section, woodwinds, brass, and percussion.
And what do you do as the South Shore Concert Band? What's your mission? What's your vision?
Well, personally, I'm the conductor, and right now the vision is to continue moving forward, to continue improving musically, and to continue putting on the performances that we put on.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the first performance you have coming up, you want to talk about that, the spring concert?
Yeah, April 13th is our next program. That's actually Palm Sunday.
Okay.
And the concert's at 2:00 at the Mendel Center on the Jenkins Theater stage. And the concert is free admission, but it's been our policy right from the very beginning. We will not charge to anyone come in and hear us. We perform for the joy of music, and that's what we want to share with our audience. And so we've maintained that. All right, and so 2:00, April 13th, and the program is entitled Tetelestai. It's going to be an Easter-themed concert. Okay, audiences really enjoy themed programs, and we've done many different themes over the years. Okay, and this one falling on Palm Sunday, I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity. Let's just do an Easter-themed program. And we also commissioned a special composition, which at some point I'd like to talk about a little bit too.
Yeah.
From a well-known, world-known composer. He's going to be coming in and guest conducting his new composition with us.
At this event?
At this event, yes.
And that's coming up on Sunday, April 13th at 2 p.m. at LMC.
Right.
In the Jenkins Theater?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And free. And that was another thing I wanted to ask you about. You made the decision at the inception that you would not be charging for this.
Correct.
Do you want to, I know you stated it, but maybe say it again. Why do you do that?
Because this is a gift to the community. This South Shore Band is really a high-level performing organization, and we could easily be charging money to come in, but we share music with each other in rehearsal and in performance as members, and we want to share that with our audience, and we don't want to keep anybody out because, I can't quite come up with the $10 or $15 or $20 or whatever, okay? And so it's there as a gift. We do accept donations.
Yeah.
Okay? And audiences are usually pretty generous with that.
Yeah, we're talking with Dale Roos. He's the conductor and director of the South Shore Band. They have their spring concert coming up on Sunday, April 13th at 2 p.m. at LMC, the Jenkins Theater, with special guest Rossano Galanti. Galanti. Is that, you want to talk a little bit about your special guest?
Yes, sure.
Please do.
Rossano Galanti is a well-known composer of band music. He's also an orchestrator for movies. He's from Los Angeles. And he's been with many different composers of movie scores. And then one of the things he does is he goes in and he orchestrates that music.
Any movies we might recognize?
Let's see.
Or I can look them up during one of the breaks.
Off the top of my head, Tuesdays with Maury, he did that. He worked with Jerry Goldsmith on a number of his movie scores. 310 Yuma, I think there was a movie titled that.
Okay. Yeah, 310 to Yuma.
Yeah, he worked on that one. And so, there's quite a long list of film scores that he's
looking at it here. Oh, he's got his own IMDb page as well. That's great. And so the role that he will play here is,
he will be a guest conductor conducting two of his compositions. One of them is a brand new commission that we kind of ordered up from him. Okay?
Wow.
And there's actually a story behind that too. We can get into. But it's a magnificent composition. All right, that he'll be working with us. It's called "Images of the Sunrise," and the subtitle "Tetelestai," which is an exciting piece. It's reflective of the crucifixion and resurrection. All right, but it's not a downer piece. It's very up. It's it's moving forward. Tetelestai, it is finished. That's what that word means in Greek.
Okay.
All right, and so, but it's not an ending; it's a beginning, and that's the music that he's reflecting here. All right, and so it's perfectly Easter themed.
I'd say,
which worked into what I wanted to do with this particular program, and then I just built it from there.
How does one order up a composition? What is that process?
Probably not the best of phrases right there. I'm thinking off the cuff here.
Or request,
Actually, this is a rather involved story.
Yeah, please.
Okay. In 2017. We had our 25th anniversary concert, and we do that every 5 years. And so this is our 25th year, silver anniversary. And as part of every fifth year concert, we do a special song to remember band members or significant people to the band who have passed.
Yeah.
All right, so, as a memorial. That morning, my mom died.
Oh, sorry.
That morning of the concert.
Oh, my goodness.
It was not unexpected, okay, but that was, I was just praying, don't go on that day, okay? But she did. All right, and so this concert now became a memorial to my mom in my heart. Also, my wife, Cindy, plays in the band, and it was hard for us to get through that.
I bet.
Okay, but we made it through. And the piece is so emotional, okay? And it was by Rossano Galanti, and it's called Afterlife. That was the piece we picked. And after that, I thought, we need to do a piece by him. We've commissioned 5 pieces before, so it was time to commission. That ordered up is is not the right word. Commission is the right word, yes.
Okay.
And so I contacted him in 2017. And it was a little bit out of our reach, okay, to do it at that
Financially speaking?
Financially speaking,
okay.
Yeah. And then COVID hit.
Oh, yes.
All right. So that shut everything down for a year and a half before we were able to gear up and get going again. And so after that, I said to myself, we need to start looking where we're going to commission again. All right. And so I went back to Galanti, and I just put it out there on faith. I said, okay, we're going to do this. All right. And so I started talking to him, and he wanted to know, what did I have in mind? So I kind of described to him, what we had done with the song Afterlife. And I told him the story, and he said, I love the idea of what you want to do. All right. So, I can do this commission. Because where he's at, he just doesn't take just anybody coming in.
No, because I looked him up on IMDb, where the actors, composers, they all have their credits listed.
Yes.
The most known for Love and Monsters, Logan, Ben-Hur, Ready or Not, and the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And so this is no fly-by-night composer.
No. And there's another list of the band compositions he's had published, which is over 50 now.
Wow.
And by the way, this song he's going to do, he just told me yesterday that this has been accepted for publication, which will be out next year for general consumption worldwide. So,
but it's going to debut here.
It'll debut here.
That's incredible.
With the composer conducting. So this is so awesome. Well, anyway, completing the story on this commission, he accepted to do it. And what we decided to do was to, we have about 5 or 6 people who have passed. And as part of their memorial, their families decided to dedicate some money to the Southshore Concert Band. Well, I'd kind of been hanging on to that, in our, finances.
Yes.
And it amounted up to about half the price of the commission. And so we just put it out there. We're going to use these memorial funds for the commission, and we'll raise the money elsewhere. I put my wife Cindy in charge of raising the money. She had it done and finished in 2 months.
Wow.
So yeah, it was amazing. So this is meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my only
That's
conclusion.
amazing.
Because it went so smoothly, and that type of thing just doesn't happen.
Do we dare ask what a commission might cost?
It depends on the composer. Alfred Reed, who is no longer with us, is an extremely famous composer, and he was charging $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 for a short composition. And Rosano Galante, I mean, he's not charging quite that much, but composers tend to charge by the minute of composition.
Okay.
All right, and it can go from anywhere from a few $100, up to $1,000 or more than that per minute of composition.
Oh, per minute.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So you have a 5-minute composition at $1,000 a minute. That's $5,000.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, it can get pretty expensive.
Yeah, and money aside, I mean that the story of how you were able to finally connect and have that commission happen, how it's going to debut at Lake Michigan College because of what you asking, and that it's going to be publicized, and now it will be played by orchestras, bands globally.
Anywhere we'll be able to play this. Yes.
That's incredible. Again, that is going to be debuted here in Southwest Michigan at Lake Michigan College, 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, April 13th at Lake Michigan College at the Jenkins Theater. We'll talk more. We're talking with Dale Roos, conductor of Southshore Concert Band. That conversation will continue in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We have to get a couple messages in. My apologies. And we'll have the Bloomberg Financial Minute and ABC News. We'll continue the conversation on our video live stream. That's going to continue right here on YouTube and Facebook right now.
Would you call free checking?
That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a tough one to get through. I mean, it was even difficult here.
Yeah.
To get through that.
We're still on the video live stream.
Yeah.
And but thank you for sharing that, and my sincere condolences for your mother passing on the morning of your performance, passing at any time, obviously. But do you feel like she was with you watching that day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
Because you had been practicing, rehearsing Afterlife for weeks. In advance.
Yeah. So,
how long does it take you? How long do you rehearse a piece before it's performed?
That's a good question. On average, 8 weeks, sometimes 9. It just depends on the time of year that it falls in. But we do the Lest We Forget program every Veterans Day time period, and then we do a Christmas concert. Okay, just a few weeks after that. So from September up to Veterans Day, we're usually working on both Christmas program and the Veterans Day program, and then after Veterans Day, we zero in on to polish up the Christmas program. Right? Yeah. So that's that whole what would be like a school semester.
And you say you're retired.
I still think in terms of semesters. Yeah, that would be focused on those 2 programs.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the spring depends whether we have something in March. We did not this year. Thank goodness, because of all the weather delays we got hit with this year. But it's usually around 8-9 weeks of prep time.
When you get into starting a new piece, what are some of the challenges that you face?
Okay, first thing you do is you have a read through. Many of these songs also have recordings out there, so on YouTube or wherever. Yeah. And so I encourage band members, listen to the recordings, get a ear, even if it's not a real good one, you can still get an idea of how it fits together, and so we just start with a read through, and then we just start breaking it down in sections, and then you encourage people to practice at home, and it's one step at a time, and over the course of the weeks, it falls together really well.
So that read through, that is where you're looking at the music, and maybe you're listening to the performance as well to kind of understand where your part is.
Listening to somebody else perform it would be on your own outside.
Okay.
I mean, not that and I have done it before where I've put it on speakers and say, okay, listen to this. Okay.
This is how it's supposed to be done, not that. No.
That has to be a good recording before I do it that way.
Yeah.
But usually I don't do that. I just encourage people to look it up on, get it yourself because it's so available now today.
For those who may not be familiar, and I'm sure I'm one of those, what is the role of a conductor? Many people think you're standing up there and telling them which songs to play. That's not it at all.
No, that's if it was only that, it'd be
Right? Everyone would be doing it. What is the role of a conductor?
Well, you have to organize the program. You have to think in terms of what song's going to be played. You have to obtain the music in one way, either from your own music library, the band's library, or order it. You have to think through: am I going to do a theme? What do I want to do? What's the structure of the concert? Is everything going to be slow and put the audience to sleep, or are you going to or are you going to mix it up a little bit? And are you going to have marches? Are you going to do this? And so you structure what you see happening. There may be a particular song that you want to do that you're looking for. You also have to think, what are the strengths of the band? You don't want to pick a song that requires a super strong trumpet player when you don't have a super strong trumpet player.
Okay.
Right? And then you go into the rehearsal. You have to before the rehearsal, you have to sit down and study the score. This is a front sheet of a score.
Oh, okay.
With all the instruments that are on there, and you have.
May
to
I show that
look
on
through.
the camera? Is that okay? Okay. So this is the typical score. So for those of you who are reading music, take quick note and start practicing right now. No.
So you
Wow.
have to.
I can hardly see this. What,
Yeah. Well, now in fairness, that's this is a smaller printout.
Okay.
From the Galante piece.
Okay. Oh, so that is part of the.
That's the front page of
the new work.
the new Galante piece when he sent that to me.
Okay.
And so then you study the score. You have to determine where the trouble spots, and you break out. Because that's all the musical analysis. Okay. Now the next thing is you have to worry about publicizing it, which is like why I'm here.
Yes. This is the easy part, I think. Just tell people where and when to show up. We'll continue that. The role of a conductor in just a moment. We've got to get back and talk about the weather for just a moment. We'll be right back. We're talking with Dale Roos. He's the conductor of the Southshore Concert Band. That continues in just a moment right here on WSJM.
To go. Scrapping the bags fly free perk is the latest seismic shift for Southwest in the wake of a pressure campaign by activist Elliott Investment Management. Changes apply to flights booked on or after May 28th. And after the big sell-off on Wall Street yesterday, stock futures did look better this morning. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
46 degrees in Benton Harbor right now. We're warming up to 43 degrees in St. Joseph, 42 in South Haven. In New Buffalo, it's 48 degrees right now. Both Buchanan and Niles have 47 degrees. Again, looking at partly sunny skies today, a high near 54, and then cooling off as we get through the afternoon. West winds are going to be around 10 to 20 miles per hour, turning north, and that's going to cool us off overnight. We're going to get down to a low of around 32 degrees. And before warming back up again tomorrow, Wednesday, it's going to be partly sunny, a high around 58 with southeast winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Looking ahead on the forecast, Thursday and Friday. Thursday, partly sunny, high around 65 degrees, a low overnight of only 38. Friday's forecast, partly cloudy, slim chance of a shower late in the day. The high is going to be around 70 degrees. So if you're lucky enough to find an open golf course, you go in the morning. 47 degrees for a low overnight. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a 60% chance of rain on Saturday. High is still going to be around 65 degrees. Sunday, partly cloudy, chance of a shower, high around 40. And then Monday, the high is going to be around 48 degrees. So you can feel it. Spring is emerging, and we're going to be enjoying it for the next few days. It's 7:38. We are continuing our conversation with Dale Roos. He's the conductor and director of the Southshore Concert Band. We'll continue that conversation here on the WSJM Morning Show video live stream. That is coming up in just a moment. But right now, we're going to get the latest from ABC News and our local newsroom.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The top U.S. and Ukrainian officials are in Saudi Arabia for talks on ending the war. The Ukrainians proposing a mutual pause on long-range strikes from the air and the sea. Market futures are higher this morning following their worst day in 2.5 years. Investors worried about a possible recession amid a growing trade war. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
The president has said that he is not using Wall Street to dictate his decisions, but when he imposed tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods earlier this month, the stock market did take a hit. The president reversed course and paused many of them. Overnight, Republican Senator Rand Paul saying that when the stock market is tumbling in response to tariffs, it pays to listen.
Former Philippine strongman President Rodrigo Duterte has been arrested at the Manila airport. He's accused of crimes against humanity in his crackdown on illegal drugs in the country. President Trump eyeing the territory. Parliamentary elections beginning in Greenland today. Voters choosing who they want to shape the island's future. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:40. The WSJM Morning Show continues. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Again, we're continuing our conversation with Dale Roos, conductor of the Southshore Concert Band. That continues in just a moment. Some of the news stories that we'll have at 8 o'clock this morning, a preview. Governor Gretchen Whitmer posting on social media about her surprise visit to our area yesterday. She was in Benton Harbor. She was at a coffee shop for a little while, then went and visited Head Start. We'll tell you a little bit more about why she was here. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. Still no word on whether the Cass County Prosecutor's Office will bring charges against several individuals who were involved in an alleged assault against a high school basketball referee. We'll have the latest for you at 8 o'clock. And then also a bill to jumpstart the development of small modular nuclear reactors in Michigan has received its first hearing in Lansing, and it was positive. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up at the top of the hour right here on the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. It is 7:41, and we have sports coming up next with Dave Wolf. First, a look at state news, and we're continuing our conversation with Dale Roos from the Southshore Concert Band. That's coming up in just a moment right here on the video live stream. We'll be back on the radio in a few minutes as well with the Moody on the Market update right here on WSJM.
The Michigan News.
All right. Sorry to pause for our messages and our news, but we're back on the video live stream with Dale Roos and Southshore Concert Band. You were talking about the role of a conductor. You mentioned the structure of a show, all the way to publicizing it and commissioning unique works, original works. Which, before we get back into the role of the conductor, what is? Were you talking with Rosano Galanti?
We communicate by email.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How is he at writing emails?
He's very good.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, he had sent me something yesterday morning dealing with the commission, some of the business end of it.
Okay.
All right. And then I sent him my response to it. And that's when he emailed me back. Great news. I just heard from Alfred Publishing that it's going to be, published next year. So
that's
it's
exciting.
It's conversation style. So I'm really excited to meet him when he comes in.
Is it unique that you would be dealing directly with the artist rather than an agent?
Not in this kind of situation.
Okay.
When you're commissioning from the composer.
Yeah. How much input did you give when you were commissioning the story you shared?
Actually, a substantial amount because this was set up a couple years ago.
Okay.
When I first made the contact with him. Well, actually, after the whole COVID thing in that story. But when I reconnected with him, it was a couple years ago, and he gave me a timeline where he could not get to it until such a time, but he'd like to know what's in my mind about what I'd like. So I sent him some stuff, and then right before he started writing, which was about a year ago, he sent, let me know exactly what you're looking for. So he sent me a series of 5 or 6 questions. And I answered according to what I thought should go into the piece, and then to give him an idea of where I was coming from on this. And I had definite input onto this.
Do you compose?
No, I do not.
Do you want to compose?
No.
Okay. All right. Leave it to others.
I love interpreting.
Okay.
That because that's the job of the conductor.
Yeah.
The job of the conductor is to interpret the music that's in front of you. All right, and so no two conductors are going to play the same piece exactly the same.
Okay.
Because it's
why not?
Because it's your own personal interpretation of it.
Okay.
It's like someone who reads a poem. Let me tell you what I think the poem means, and then you read the same poem and tell somebody what it will probably be 2 different things.
Yeah. Okay. And you emphasize certain things and
the crescendos, decrescendos, the emotional parts of the music, the pushes and the pulls and the everything that goes with it. Yeah, that's all individual.
The special piece by Rosano Galanti.
Yes.
When did you receive it?
We got that about in July. It
Okay.
arrived, yeah.
July of last year. How many times has the group played it?
Well, I printed off the copies, okay, and got those into the hands of the band members in September. And so we, did an initial run through, but then we had to start working on Lest We Forget and Chris's program. So we played it a few times during the course of the first semester of the college. And then we really hit it hard starting in January. Then the snow hit us.
Yeah, what does that do if you don't have like the brass section show up?
I work on the woodwinds or the percussion or the mallets.
Yeah. So you're now about a month out.
Yeah.
Right? Almost a month and a couple of days.
Yeah, and it is sounding very good, by the way.
Okay, excellent. We're talking with Dale Roos. He's conductor of the Southshore Concert Band. What else do you want to tell us this morning? What do you need from the community?
From the community, I need you to come listen to this concert. It would be wonderful. The Mendel Center has 1,500 seats. Wow, would it be great to fill that?
Yeah.
First floor and the balcony, and that's. I'm not really expecting that to happen, but would that be great? So,
that'd be amazing.
Audience, come on in and listen to us. You will not regret. I can't tell you how many times we've had someone come into a program of ours and then afterwards get some feedback like, we just came in to hear and we're going to be back. How can this group exist in this area and you don't charge for the concerts? And that's one of the problems of not charging for the concerts, because people say, oh, they're not charging, they must not be very good. That's not the case. This is a gift to you, the audience, okay, from us, and we're going to give you a quality program every single time. Come in and listen to us. You'll be back.
How many performances will you have this year?
We will have had 3 this year.
Okay, 3 total all year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me piggyback on this. Actually, we're going to have 4 because the Mendel Center is closing down shortly after the LMC graduation because they're going to do some
HVAC work, right?
Yeah. Okay. And so we're losing our rehearsal space.
Okay.
All right. So we literally are going to be pretty much done as Southshore rehearsals after the LMC graduation.
Oh boy!
But what I've done is I've contacted Andrews University, and we're going to do a reprise, okay, a second presentation of this concert. All right, and so my focus on that is I'd like to get South County people that could come up to Andrews University at the Howard Performing Arts Center.
Yeah.
And that's going to be on June 1st.
Okay.
Right? So there'll be an encore performance, if you will.
Yes.
Okay. Of this. Of course, Rossano Galante will not be there at that one.
Yeah, but another opportunity to hear that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and an opportunity for me to conduct the piece.
I want to ask you about that in just a moment, because it must be interesting as the conductor to turn the baton over for a few for a work to somebody who composed it. That must be pretty special. So we'll talk about it. I'll ask you about that in just a moment during our Moody on the Market update. That's coming up next right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We're talking with Dale Roos, conductor of the Southshore Concert Band. We'll continue that in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Advisor.
Well, Alec, a lot of folks out there have the majority of their savings tied up in their 401k plans at work. Over the years, we have been fortunate enough to be able to help many of those folks transition from working into retirement. As you know, 401k rollovers and retirement planning is a big part of what we do.
This is Sharon Austin. I'm here for you.
This is Alec Austin. I'm here for you.
And this is Tom Austin, and I'm here for you.
Advisory services offered by Capital Asset Advisory Services, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
Taking the fear out of your future. Austin Tax and Financial.
Partly sunny skies today. Temperatures will be warmest this morning as we top out in the 50s, and then temperatures will drop because a cold front rolls through. Inland will drop into the 40s, but near the lakeshore will drop into the 30s for the afternoon, and it will be breezy as that wind shifts direction. Then tonight we drop down to 32, and we're back to sun and 58 tomorrow. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:49. It's Tuesday, March 11th. Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg, and my guest this morning in studio is Dale Roos. He's conductor of the Southshore Concert Band, and they have their spring concert coming up with special guest Rossano Galanti. I'll get that right eventually by the time you leave. It's they're having their spring concert. It's coming up Sunday, April 13th at 2 p.m. It'll be at the Jenkins Theater at LMC. And it's free because the South Shore Concert Band was formed basically to give the gift of music to the community. So thank you for doing that. Yes. We really appreciate that. And Dale Roos, we were talking about your being a conductor, and you've been the conductor director of this band since 1992?
Yes.
Okay, and when you formed it.
Yes.
And since then, how many times have you had a special guest conductor come in and take your baton for a song?
Well, we've done that actually a number of times. We have the guest composers when we've commissioned a piece, but we've also had other conductors from local schools or from a college or a university come in over a number of times. We've probably had 20, 25 times, different times.
What is that going to be like when you hand the baton over to Galanti?
Oh, it's an honor. It truly is. Yeah, he'll be here. Like Galanti will be here on Saturday, April 12th, the day before, to rehearse the piece.
Yes.
And so I'll get a chance to stand back and hear it and watch how he's working his own piece.
Is that intimidating at all?
Probably the very first time I ever did it probably was, but it's not so much anymore.
Okay.
By the way, I'd like to add that April 12th. If there's any band conductors out there, I decided to have this as an open rehearsal.
Nice.
It's going to be in the Grand Upton at LMC, and we'll have some chairs set up. So if you're a conductor or an interested music student even, obviously this can't be open to the public. We won't have the space for it, okay? But if you have an interest, or a professional interest in it, come in. It's going to be rehearsal on April 12th, starts at 11 o'clock.
How would band directors or music enthusiasts, how would they get in touch with you for that?
No, they don't have to get in touch. Just come on in.
Okay, very good. And that's going to be the 12th at what time, I'm sorry?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. at the Upton Hall.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for doing that.
Oh.
Appreciate that. And so the concert itself is happening on Sunday, April 13th, free admission, 2 p.m. And let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update. Our Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And our Moody on the Market update, we bring you business updates, of course. We bring you interesting people you should know and life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. And I think you fill the buckets here. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate you. Who would you like to thank or appreciate for helping make this possible?
Well, we have sponsors for this concert. They did not. This is not a contribution to the composition. Is they help sponsor the actual program that we do. And for the spring concert, we have Woodham's Ford in South Haven, and we have Henry's Hamburgers right down the street.
Yeah, yum.
And they've been regular supporters of our spring programs. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you to Woodham's and to Henry's Hamburgers for making that possible. And again, those who brought the original composition in place, thank you to them as well. And thank you to you for doing this in our community. 75 members. How are you able to corral all of them? You don't do all this work alone. You've got officers who help.
We do. We have a wonderful officers board that's been in place from day one. That was one of the things that I wanted to make sure we had before even our first rehearsal. We had a core set of people, and then we expanded that to elected officers from within the band members themselves. And there's about 15 people on that board. And you had asked earlier, what kind of work goes into this. Well, a lot of that work is done because of those board members as well, and so we can't continue without giving credit where credit's due there.
Yeah, no, thank you all for helping make that happen. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Most interesting thing that happened for one of your performances that was not planned.
That was not planned.
Not planned. Anything come to mind?
We had, the first thing that popped in my head.
Yes.
Okay. We had a proposal of marriage done on stage.
You didn't know that was coming?
Well, I did. Nobody else did.
Okay. How did that come about?
The husband-to-be asked if he could propose to his intended beloved. She was in the band. He is not.
Okay. She was in the band.
Yeah. And so then at some point during the concert, I asked her to come up to the front. I made up some story. I can't remember what it was. We're going to feature band members every concert or something. So come on up here. And so she came up here, and then he snuck in from behind the curtains and dropped to his knee and proposed.
She said?
She said yes.
She said yes. That was good. Okay. Well, that's fun. How many proposals? Just that one?
Just the one.
Okay. All right. We're talking with Dale Roos, conductor of the Southshore Band. We're going to wrap up this interview in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. We'll be back in just a moment.
Insurance Management Service is your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and Niles.
I've worked with IMS for, 2 or 3 years now, and they are just awesome people. It came to be that I was shopping for insurance, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have you guys check it. And oh my gosh, they saved me so much money. It was like over $1,000 a year.
Back on the video live stream for the WSJM Morning Show, I'm Ken Lundberg, and here with me is Dale Roos, conductor of the Southshore Concert Band. And not too bad. This has been okay. Is this what you expected?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been to the studios before?
Yes. A number of years ago.
Okay. Pat Moody? Was Pat Moody here?
No, I can't remember who that was that was with me. But well, Pat Moody was here, yes. Okay. But I didn't talk to him.
But you weren't with him?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, let's see. You've got the concert coming up on Sunday, April 13th. Then you've got the, what do you call it, the encore performance on June 1st? June 1st at Andrews University. Much appreciation to Andrews for letting you use their space.
Yes.
That's outstanding.
It's worked out. Everything's worked out so well with this whole program.
Yeah. Do you need anything as far as musicians in the band itself, performers?
Well, we are open to the public. If anyone out there plays the instruments and would like to, join us, all you have to do is contact me. You can look online, southshoreconcertband.com. for contact information, or come into the concert and talk to me afterwards, or just get a hold of me or somebody in the band and come and join up.
Okay, very good. We'll be right back and to conclude this interview in just a moment. We're talking with Dale Roos, conductor for the Southshore Concert Band, in just a moment here on WSJM.
Experienced staff will solve your problem and get you back on the road. Depend on Enders, where experience runs deep. 35 years deep. Enders Auto Repair, Federal Highway, just south of Stevensville.
Getting multiple estimates to replace your furnace can feel overwhelming when you're not sure who to trust.
Should I care if they're licensed, experienced, and insured?
Yes, you should. Call the experts and feel at ease with McGee's. They know the rules and they don't cut corners. Trust the people that care, who know how to do it right the first time. All you need to do is work with McGee's once to see the difference, and they'll be the first call every time. Feel at ease with McGee's. Call today for your estimate. Feel at ease with McGee's.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:58, a couple minutes before 8 o'clock, we'll have the latest world and national news from ABC. That's coming up, followed by our local news from the WSJM newsroom, our weather forecast, our local sports, and a whole lot more. It's all coming up right here for the final hour of the WSJM Morning Show for this Tuesday, March 11th. We've had in the studio this hour Dale Roos, the conductor and director of the Southshore Concert Band. Thank you, Dale, for coming in this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. And, in the movies, I must say, they make out the conductor to be very controlling and sometimes persnickety. I do not find you that. Are you that at all?
You may find some people who might have that opinion.
Oh, no. No, it's very good. Thank you for doing what you do. And again, your concert is coming up. This is the first concert. It's the spring concert. First concert of the year, right?
Well, it's
of this
our
year.
Season starts in September, but yes, of this year, 2025. Yes.
Okay, so the spring concert with the special guest Rossano Galanti is coming up 2 p.m. Sunday, April 13th, 2025. It's going to be held at Lake Michigan College in the Jenkins Theater.
Correct.
And the name of the original composition is
Images of the Sunrise.
Images of the Sunrise, and composed by Rossano Galanti. And you can hear that free of charge, courtesy of the Southshore Concert Band. Dale, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. It's almost 8 o'clock. The forecast for today does call for partly sunny skies, and it's going to be warm before it starts cooling off this afternoon. 54 degrees is what we're looking at, and then we'll start declining as we head toward the afternoon. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour becoming north. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a low around 32. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts to 20. It's 8 o'clock.
I'm Sherry Preston. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is leading an American delegation in talks with counterparts from Ukraine about ending the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is also there. ABC's James Longman reports from Kyiv.